I'm Emma, and this is the Alpha Sessions, and I'm here with DIDI. Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good, thanks. You?
Good, thanks. How did the music thing start for you?
I guess it depends what aspect of the music you'd really go for. With the music performance, since I was 11, I've been playing in bands. I was playing an indie grunge band, and we were awful, but it still gave me good experience, and we were gigging quite a lot during that time as well. And then I started another band when I was 15, and we were a ukulele folk band. They were all girls, and it was really, really fun, and that did quite well. I ended up working with some major record labels and management and stuff like that through that. And I was in that band till I was 20, and then it sort of went a bit downhill, which was a shame. And then I left the band when I was 20, and then at the beginning of this year, I set up my own solo project called DIDI. I say project as if it's not something that is temporary. It's not. It's something I permanently want to do or be. So yeah, and then I've been gigging solo, and now I have my own backing band as well. So it's really fun getting to play those shows.
So exciting. You've got your latest single, Back Off.
Yes.
What's that about?
It's actually about a really specific situation.
Someone backing off?
Back Off, let's say, is the radio version of what the song is called.
Okay.
The radio edit version.
That. Yep.
I was actually on a train journey home from London, and there was a slightly drunk girl on the train. This isn't aimed at her, actually, but she was talking quite loudly, but not bothering anyone, talking to the girl next to her, whatever. And this guy 3 rows back decided to take it upon himself to start screaming his head off at her, telling her to be quiet, that she shouldn't talk, start dissing her education, her ethnicity, everything. It was ridiculous. I could not believe that it was happening. I was going to get involved to be calm down, back off. She had a comeback for everything, and I was like, girl power. But then it also made me sad, because I was like, oh no, it means that she's had to deal with this, people saying these horrible things to her before.
Yeah. So
it's not new to her, but it got me really riled, let's say. And then I ended up going home that night really late and just writing a really aggressive song called Back Off. So it's about that situation.
Do you find that when you write songs, it's often based on real life situations?
Yes. I don't think I've written a song that isn't really autobiographical.
Right.
Sometimes they're excessively autobiographical, and I'm like, oh, I don't know why she even put that in a song. It seems a bit inappropriate.
Do you find it hard to not, if you're writing about someone, to not pinpoint it at that exact person?
I think the people I've written songs about know that the songs are written about them.
Okay.
They're mostly positive, so it's not a problem. The thing is, though, it's I've done so much co-writing over the years, writing music for other people and stuff like that. I think that's why my music is the way that it is because I don't have a problem writing vague or non-specific to my life. But something I've really liked about this project is this is undeniably me. No one else is writing these songs with me, or if they are, it's not a major contribution. It's my lyrics, my experiences, and that just feels really special to be.
Is it quite scary to go from being in a full-on band and being a producer to just flying out solo? It's quite a change, isn't it?
It was so weird. I've never been the front person of anything.
Yeah.
I've always been the behind-the-scenes person. Yeah, the nerdy producer sitting behind the desk, or the guitarist standing back from the main act kind of thing. So it's never really been my thing. And the first gig I ever did as DIDI, I had just launched my single, and I was thinking about gigging live, but I hadn't really gone through it. And one of the song that it's actually about, I was just coming back from the studio, from being in the studio with her, and I saw that my local pub had an open mic, and I was like, I didn't know they even did open mics here, which is really weird. And so I rang up and was like, oh, do you want some help with the sound? If you've got an engineer in, I'll come do it. And he was like, are you a singer? I was like, yeah, I am actually. He was like, come down, bring your guitar, kind of thing. And so I did a gig there, and I ended up getting encored 3 times.
Amazing.
Of people wanting to hear original material. And I think at that point I was like, okay, maybe this isn't an awful idea. People seem to really want to get behind it. So I think that it does make me nervous, but I think everyone has been overwhelmingly supportive. So it's a nice experience, really.
So it's not lonely?
Yeah, I got lonely really quickly, which is why I've now got a band.
Fair.
My earlier music doesn't have that much other instrumentation, but Back Off has got full-on drums, another guitar part, bass part, everything like that. And I can do it live, but it's so much fatter with the band. So that's fun.
So what was it originally that made you want to go from the producing route to the songwriting route?
I did not I've been songwriting for years, so that was the songwriting in itself wasn't a thing, but songwriting with me singing was the biggest difference. I do not identify as a singer. I do more than I did.
You do now.
I do now, but like I'm surrounded by so many amazing singers, and I get really intimidated. So I never was like, yeah, I'm a singer. So I more regard myself as a songwriter, guitarist that had to sing because otherwise the songs wouldn't be out there. But the reason I actually went into the releasing material under my own name was because I wrote a song called Sorry, and I never intended anyone to hear it. I recorded it and everything, and then I was like, oh my god, I don't hate it. I was like, what do I do? I've written a song I don't hate that I'm singing on. So I showed my mum, and she was like, oh god, this like isn't awful. And I was like, oh no. So then we sort of like brainstormed a bit, and then 2 weeks from the moment that I had written the song, it only took me about 2 hours to write and record the song. The vocals on it are the guide vocals that I did because I could never sing them better than I did it the first time. I made up the lyrics as I was going along in the song as well. So it was like crazy. And yeah, I've never, from that point onwards, we were like, cool, it's going to be a thing. So 2 weeks, I came up with the whole marketing campaign plan, like everything. So people who know me know that I like planning stuff, so they probably would have thought I'd planned this in advance. I genuinely didn't. Like, and so the past 8 months has been crazy, like, and I don't know, I just feel so overwhelmed by how positive people are being.
Do you have a preference?
What, to production?
In terms of, to production? Or is it kind of like depends on what mood you're in?
It depends what mood I'm in. I think I really like the balance, as we were saying earlier as well.
Yeah.
The being a solo artist or writing your own music is entirely self-indulgent, and that's something that I'm kind of enjoying now, because being a producer, I never got that. Being a producer, session guitarist, writer for someone else, you literally have to give lose your identity to make someone else be successful or to do something. And so I find that it's a really nice grounding balance by doing both, because you go from being really self-absorbed, thinking about yourself all the time, to then doing music production and thinking, how am I going to help someone else achieve what they want? How do I get into their headspace? So I find it's a really good mix. I wouldn't want to stop doing one or the other. Like, I think and also I meet so many more people by doing it. Like, I end up working on so many projects by being a singer, like being a songwriter and singer as well as a producer. So
does one help the other, do you find?
Oh, literally, it's like, I think this is why it's been so quick, is because I know so many people through doing music production and session guitar work, that it's that when I was like, oh, I'm doing my own solo stuff, people knew who I was. I wasn't going in cold, like, and so that's hand in hand, like, been a massive reason why this has worked.
Have you ever had words put in your mouth, talking for you, filling spaces you wanna leave, but they don't seem to see your face, so you're stuck in an awkward conversation when all you really want to do is leave, but you don't want to be judged negatively. Am I a sellout? Why do I feel the need to make you feel good when you're in my company? There is a delay between my smile and wave, between what I say and what I really think is right. What gives you the right to think you can speak to me like this? Your unsolicited opinion isn't something that I need in my life. What gives you the right to think you can speak to me like this? Your unsolicited opinion isn't something that I need in my life. Girls are stuck in conversations that they don't wanna be in, 'cause the man upstairs says do your job and stop your complaining. 'Cause the people talk behind your back, it's sad but I know it's true. But oh, you got to stand your ground and work out what to do. Gives you the right to think you can speak to us like this? Your unsolicited opinion isn't something that we need in our lives. What gives you the right to think you can speak to us like this? Your unsolicited opinion isn't something that we need in our lives. Stand your ground and work it out, work it out, work it out. Feel the fire in your lungs, breathe it out, breathe it out. Stand your ground and work it out, work it out, work it out. Feel the fire in your lungs, breathe it out, breathe it out. Stand your ground and work it out, work it out, work it out. Feel the fire in your lungs, breathe it out, breathe it out. Don't just stand there, work it out, work it out, work it out. You're unsolicited, you're unsolicited, you're unsolicited opinion isn't something I need. You're unsolicited, you're unsolicited, your unsolicited opinion isn't something I need. You're listening to the right, you're unsolicited speak, you're unsolicited yes, isn't something I need. Your unsolicited opinion isn't something that I need. You're unsolicited.
The Alpha Sessions.
In terms of like your songwriting style and the tracks that you've put out there, have you had to get another producer in to help you with that, or have you done it all yourself?
Originally, I produced my stuff on my own because it made sense, and I wasn't quite sure if it was something I wanted to do seriously. I can't play drums,
Okay.
and I was very adamant that I wanted drums on it. So my awesome friend Rihanna Meyer is also a credible record producer as well as a drummer.
Sweet.
So I was like, Rhiannon, come join me and we'll have some fun. and so we've been she recorded Back Off with me. It's so funny because you would assume that just like if you're a record producer that you wouldn't get someone else involved, but you need a second opinion.
100%.
You just do, like, and I'm just so privileged that she is working with me on it and everything, and we've just done some sneaky recording.
Do you think she maybe felt the pressure because you're a producer too?
Yeah. I think I did. It was the other way around first. She asked me to produce some of her music.
Oh, nice.
So the pressure was like... And then by the time I ended up working with her as well, she'd already done loads of stuff as well. But the DIDI project had proved that it was not going to be a massive flop, or at least not straight away. So I think she had the pressure of like, okay, we've got to step up the game with Back Off. Like we've got to like make this above Sorry and Awkward. Yeah, like which I know I have like 200 followers. Like I'm nobody, but it's still like it's just positive, and I just love working with her.
That's the best way. It's good. So all over your social media, you've been talking a lot about women in the music industry.
Yes.
And I know that subject is quite a big subject. I mean, I myself talk about it quite a lot anyway. Do you feel like, first of all, like what are your thoughts on this at the moment?
Well, I think we're at a really interesting time. I think it is at like the precipice of change right now. I think I got on the bandwagon a tiny bit later because I was so adamant for it not to be a thing. And then I was like, you can't. And then I got to a point where I was like, you can't ignore this. It's such a big problem. It's such a big problem. Yeah. I think the thing is when I first started out, I did not in any way go, oh, I'm a female record producer. Yeah. That's uncommon. I was just like, I'm really nerdy and techie and I love doing this. And then when I started getting more success, and I got my first Radio 2 play when I was 18, like of a track I'd produced. And at that point, people were like, oh, okay, she's not like some girl in her garden, although I am. And they were like, did you know that you're a woman? And I was like, oh my God, no, I had no idea. What? And then from that point onwards, I don't think I've ever done an interview where someone hasn't asked me, which I think it's important to be asked, but from that point onwards, I've never not been asked what it's like to be a female record producer or a woman in the music industry. But it just shows how poignant it is. And I think it's great that people are talking about it. I think there's no point in keeping your head in the sand about it. There is so much to be said for not drawing attention to it in the sense of normalising it, making it normal, not novelty, which is like Red Bull's done an amazing job with that. Yeah. But you have to draw attention to it because otherwise it just won't be
normalised.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess I've also noticed that you've got a female producer working with you. Yes. Was that a coincidence or is that intentional?
I have an entirely female band. Well, the bassist is non-binary,
Sweet.
So it's like, but that is because I think they are the best at what they do. I think Rhiannon is the best drummer I know. Yeah. And I think she's an incredible producer. So naturally, I was like, I'm going to get Rhiannon to do this. Yeah. And then when I was like getting another guitarist, I was like, Emily is a sick guitarist and I'm working on her EP at the moment, like recording it. I was like, and then I've known Churchill for years and I was like, oh, I'm just going to get them to play bass because I know they play bass. So it was just it wasn't like I was like, oh, I've got to get, girls to do it. I was just like, I'm going to get the best people I know to do it. And they happen to be girls. Like,
well, that's the way to go. I kind of think like if you went out there and went, right, I'm going to get an all-girl band, I don't think that would have had the same response necessarily.
I think the other thing as well that I feel so lucky about is they are all my friends. They're not people I've searched on, like, find my bandmate or something like that.
Is that a thing?
There isn't one I don't think necessarily called Find a Bandmate,
Okay.
but like there's loads of websites that are like that, like
cool.
you know, Craigslist bands, kind of stuff like that. And I think that's what I really like about my band is the fact that they are all my friends. So we just gel naturally. So
Do they work with you on the songwriting process, or do you write the song and kind of go, hey guys, we're going to do this today?
there's definitely a separation. So I write the songs. I write all of the parts except for the drums because I can't play drums. Rhiannon writes the drum parts. Me and Rhiannon might work a bit on some of the stuff, but ultimately I feel like I'm the creator of like everything. And then I give them their parts.
Okay.
I probably will change the more it goes on, but realistically, for their time, they're all busy people. They're all like full-time musicians, so like they are busy. So I can't expect them just to like jam with me. Like,
excuse me, can you write everything? Thanks.
Yeah.
You've toured quite a lot recently. Do you have a favourite venue?
I keep playing the Finsbury.
Okay, yeah, sweet.
I really like Finsbury. The lighting's amazing. I did my first ever full band show there on the 10th.
Nice.
And I got like a whole film crew in. Shout out to Danny O'Brien for filming that. Yeah, and that was good. Sorry, keep kicking you. But yeah, like I think the Finsbury is a good size venue. Like the lighting and sound is really good.
They're starting to take after the Bedford a little bit in a sense of they'd like you to go in there and be really, really quiet, and I think that's really good.
Yeah, I think it's good. Also, it's in North London, which for me is incredibly convenient.
Absolutely. Where would you love to play that you haven't?
So many places.
Give me an example.
I haven't even actually played the Bedford.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You need to get on that.
Yeah.
It's an amazing venue.
I definitely would love to do that. I think the 229 is quite cool.
Yeah.
As well. Although the stage, I don't know if have you been there at all?
No, I haven't actually.
The stage is about 5'5".
Wow.
So I like went
That'd
to
be
go,
quite a mission for me.
Yeah, I'm 5'2", so like, but like I saw a band called Calva Louise there. They're I get on them. They're really good. But they were playing and I was at the front and I was just like staring up. Like,
hi guys.
Yeah, no, that's quite a big venue though. So I don't know. To play that.
You will. It'll be fine.
Father took his daughter by the back of the hand and he sat her down and told her, this is the plan, we've got to leave everything behind. So they ran down to the alleys of the poorly cobbled streets with nothing but the sound of their racing heartbeats. They left everything in their hometown. 'Cause the bombs keep dropping, as I'm sure you've read. And the father looked back and then he said, this is our last night on earth. What do you wanna do? Do you wanna see the lions down by the zoo? Or what do you wanna see, my darling baby? I just want to hold you tight and keep you close to me. So the father took his daughter to the place that he got married to his love that was long gone. So they sat down on the steps and watched the sunrise, lighting up the city of the broken paradise with tears streaming down their face. 'Cause the bombs keep dropping, as I'm sure you've read. And the father looked down and then he said, this is our last night on earth. What do you wanna do? Do you wanna see the lions down by the zoo? Or what do you wanna see, my darling baby? I just want to hold you tight and keep you close to me. Counting down the hours till her final breath was gone, the father held his daughter and he sung her favourite song. It was too late. She was long gone. 'Cause the bombs keep dropping, as I'm sure you've read. And the father looked down and then he said, this was our last night on earth, my darling baby. It wasn't meant to end so soon, but end eventually. I love you so much, and I will see you soon. And then we'll see the lions down by the zoo. The Alpha Sessions.
You've had an awesome accolade from some fantastic BBC presenters, including the legend himself, Mr. Chris Wilkins.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
I ended up getting a premiere on BBC Radio 6 through Chris Wilkins.
Oh, sweet.
So that was my I literally couldn't believe it. 'Cause I'd only released one song, which was called Sorry.
Right.
And then a month later, I released my second song, Awkward, and he premiered it. So
Nice. Did you get in touch with you, or did it just come on?
My mum is a legend.
Fair.
So she's a main catalyst in that situation. Although Chris was
Is she your radio plugger?
Basically.
Cool.
Like that, yeah, she basically does do that.
I reckon if I was an artist, my mum would be my radio plugger too, to be fair. So.
That's a good thing. You're probably your own radio plugger though, wouldn't you?
No, my mum.
Your mum. I think your mum cares about you more than... Like, well, I don't know. She just, it works. And she's so good at it as well. She's very enthusiastic.
I reckon mums are just good publicists of their children generally.
Yeah, well, she writes my press releases and
there
stuff, so it's like... best musician ever.
Yeah, exactly, right? So good. So he premiered it.
Yes, he did premiere
Cool.
it. I also Tom Robinson also played one of my tracks as well, and
Nice.
I got voted #1 with Back Off on the Fresh Faves mixtape thingy.
Ooh,
which I was
that's
really
pretty
surprised about. I was like, girl, like that happened.
that's
okay.
amazing.
I was just really surprised. So much stuff happened.
Do you feel like there's a lot of pressure for the next single now because so much good stuff's happened?
Yes. I don't know. I really like my music. I don't think if I genuinely didn't think it would happen, then I don't. If I didn't like it, because ultimately that's the only thing you have is if you're enjoying it or not, because you're not earning that much money from it, or at least not that's, or you're losing money on it. You lose friends over it as well, because I've not spent like hardly any time with my friends and stuff like that. So I'm feeling a lot of pressure of the like investing so much into trying to make this project work. My next single I do really like. It's quite funny because Sorry, Awkward and Back Off have do very about topics and specifics. My next single, which I haven't announced yet, so I'm not going to say, is more vague and it's a bit more of a love song. And I was really surprised that Ewan wrote it. And but it seems to be a fan favourite because I gig it live. Like I've been gigging it live on the sly, So I hope people don't hate it.
Just be like, I'm sure people will love it.
Yes, that's good. I guess I'm just setting the bar low. I think that's how I've been so happy about this entire thing.
And then if it gets higher, then you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Exactly. I think that's how I live in my life, just setting the bar low. No, I don't think I'm a very person that sets the bar very low. I'm always over optimistic about everything.
It's good to be like that.
It's why I'm always late to everything. And we always think, I've got loads of time, and I never do. Yeah, anyway.
But they say, what do they say about late people? Late people are normally quite messy and they're very creative. So it's normally a good thing to do.
Yeah, definitely messy.
I'm mainly speaking for myself. So you're also quite a big supporter of music for great causes. I noticed that you have supported Attitude is Everything for the DIY Access Guides. Bit of a random question that I've taken off the back of that. If you could launch your own music charity, it could be anything, what would it be and what would be the main focus of it?
Well, I guess the thing is, I think LGBT related things and accessibility things. I think LGBT things are talked about more. Accessibility is not talked about at all. It's the biggest minority, and yet I just don't think it's really taken into consideration. Have
you heard of Drake music? Drake.
No.
Okay, you need to get on that.
The thing is, I'm still very new to this.
Okay.
Yeah, I will.
We'll chat afterwards.
Okay, good. I'm very aware that I'm new to this, and I have various ideologies that will probably change, and I'll find that there's people that have been doing it for decades longer than I have, and everything like that. But I'm just shocked that I haven't come across it in the mainstream. At least that I'm not aware of that I've come across it in the mainstream so far. Because I just think it's really sad that just if you you could break your leg, but you still had tickets to a concert, but you couldn't go because there wasn't a wheelchair ramp. It's even ridiculous. Just to that sort of extent. So next year, I've got someone signing at my gigs and things like that. So
nice.
That, just to try and involve people and try and make sure that I'm only playing venues that people can access.
Get to, yeah.
and that there are seats as well for people.
I can't believe that we're in 2017 and that still isn't a thing.
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
It's ridiculous.
I know. I do understand that it's difficult for some venues because a lot of them don't make a lot of money. So to put in a wheelchair ramp or an elevator or something like that is really expensive. But then you have great organisations like PRS who have just teamed up with Attitudes Everything to provide grants for venues so that they can afford to
do that.
Yeah, which is really awesome.
Sweet. So what's next for DIDI?
Well, I haven't officially announced the name of the EP or anything like that.
But there is going to be an EP?
There's an EP coming out in March of next year.
Amazing.
And there's a single coming out in February.
Nice. Well, keep our ear to the ground for that one.
Thank you. Oh, it should be. I'm hyped.
And if we want to find out more about you, where can we go? What can we do?
The best thing is I am DIDI Music on every platform, and DIDI is spelled DIDI. And I'm quite an avid social media person, apparently now. So my Instagram stories are a bit stupid, but there's a lot of them going on, if that's something that you like being involved in. And yes, please follow me if you would like to find out more about what I'm doing.
Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you very much for having me. It's been lovely.
I'm so sorry for what this has become. It wasn't perfect, but that's no excuse for me to run. The morning's the hardest without your eyes dripping blue. And she says that we are happier apart, and that's obvious. And I lie and say we're happier apart. And why is it worth it to leave me hanging out to dry? To leave me hanging out to die? You just wanted to push me away. And are you sorry? Or is it just in my mind? Are you worried? Or has the passing of time closed the window of opportunity? And she says that we are happier apart, and that's obvious. And I lie and say we're happier apart. And why is it worth it to leave me hanging out to dry? To leave me hanging out to die? To leave me singing on your lies? And why is it worth it to keep me singing out to you? To keep me clinging on to you? You just wanted to push me away. I am sorry for wanting you to trust me too much, for wanting you